Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day we are finally receiving a little bit more info about the one-shot snipers, which is going to completely change how we have to approach sniping in Warzone 2. And actually, it's kind of similar to the way that I suggested it needed to work. So let's start looking at really what that means and how they're adjusting it, because it's going to be really important to understand these things for when we get into Season 3 starting tomorrow. So if you're watching this today, okay, let's look at it. So big note is combat. This is where they actually announce what's going on. Players can expect to see changes in combat engagements, including a reduced intensity of damage feedback on the HUD, which means we're going to get less red and be able to actually see where we're getting shot from a little bit better. Reduce high damage weapon outliers to make combat feel more consistent. Hopefully this is meaning that they're nerfing the overpowered guns, which is how it should be. But you know how Call of Duty does. So what I'm expecting here is reducing high damage weapon outliers, meaning they're probably going to reduce the overall damage on the Hemlock and probably the TAC 56, if I'm guessing, to make the gun feel like you're not dying instantly. And then probably the Lachman sub and the Vesnav might see a second pass. If that is the case, you're probably going to see a large return of, my best guess is maybe the Kastov 7.62 and probably a little bit of a rise in the Lachman 5.56, as they are both, well, the Kastov 7.62 is high damage and the Lachman 5.56 is a really easy to control weapon. But that's not why we're here. We're here for this part right here. We are adding one-shot snipers, one-hit down snipers to create added variety in combat playstyles. This is what I've been talking about with the game, where they're talking about it's not as necessarily as much of a issue with a lack of skill gap. There are lots of skill gapping still left in this game. Not outplay potential, but lots of skill gapping, and such as like knowing rotation, how to use the weapons, builds, and stuff like that. But this right here adds variety. It adds a actual skill expression variance. And this is a lot of what I felt like the game needed, was skill expression. And that is by adding one-shot, one-hit down sniper rifles. Bolt-action snipers equipped with explosive ammunition will now be able to down enemies with one skill shot, meaning headshots. The MCPR will also have explosive ammunition added to its progression. Cool, so that means now we will have access to the MCPR, the Victus, and they've already mentioned somewhere in here that that is also going to include the intervention. So the intervention, the MCPR, and the Victus will now all one-shot headshot with explosive ammunition. So again, we are back at sim.gg, and we're actually going to go over what that means for a lot of your builds. So the traditional build for any of these is high velocity. High velocity is what everybody needed for all your weapons, because it gave you the greatest amount of chance of landing your shots, because obviously if it bullet move fast, hit quick. That's the whole premise. You'll notice that muzzle velocity increased by high velocity is 500 meters a second for the MCPR, and for the Victus, it is 502. You'll see that they are very similar in that. So you can take from that one that is a pretty standard deviation across all of the weapons that are going to have high velocity. Now we're going to look at explosive rounds. Explosive rounds right now are, of course, only available on the Victus. The MCPR does not have those yet, so we can't calculate that truly. But what we can see is the explosive rounds give you a negative 457 meters a second for the bullet velocity, which takes your Victus from a 1644 meters a second to 685. When I say that that is massive as far as just as distances is going to be concerned, it is massive. That is a huge amount of lead in this game. With that being said, also, it doesn't feel like that affects drop nearly as much. Being somebody who has already ran the explosive rounds before on the Victus, it is significant as far as the lead is concerned. The drop is still good, but it is a bit. Now, without letting you understand what is going on, we're going to go over to the last Warzone, and I'm going to show you how slow that is actually. So if you ran if you ran the old, not the Modern Warfare Car 98, but let's pull up the Modern Warfare Car 98. You all will, most everybody will understand because we've used that one a ton. The Modern Warfare Car 98 by default has a 625. That means if you're using the ground loot one, you're already right there at it. If you put on the long barrel and nothing else, you're already a faster bullet velocity than what we're dealing with as far as the new changes with explosive. You put on the monolithic, now you're looking at 1125, which that's about almost 400. It's almost 400 meters per second faster than you would have for the other one. So this was the default Car 98 build, and it's about, you know, a third faster bullet velocity. So that's one thing you're gonna have to go into this understanding, is that these bullets are not going to be moving fast. If you are a moving target that actually understands how to weave and actually understands how to dolphin dive in between the cadence of shots, it's a pretty good chance that no one that is unskilled will hit you. I'm going to let you know right now, if the person is not either extremely lucky or a really good sniper, they're not hitting you if you're moving, especially at 200-300 meters. This gun is these snipers are going to be for the quite skilled and for those that are counter sniping or counter LMGing, and I think that's beautiful. This is exactly the style I wanted to see the snipers come back as. As much as I love a good busted sniper rifle that does way more damage, way too fast, and is the end all beat all, that is not what this is, and I think that's great because I do enjoy balance as much as it's, you know, everybody likes to have their favorite weapon be the strongest thing in the game, but I think this is a super solid balance option. Reducing the overall bullet velocity, making long shots hard to hit, but more rewarding, is not only going to provide a higher skill ceiling for somebody who actually becomes a exceptionally good sniper, but it'll also raise the skill floor enough to where people who aren't good at it probably won't waste their time trying to sit on top of mountains, on top of towers, in a helicopter trying to hit you with this. They will waste all of their time, all of their bullets, and walk away most of the time empty-handed. I think this is an exceptional way of building your snipers now for the game. I think that they did a pretty good job on the way that it is. The only way that this can change, mind you, is if they go through and they buff the bullet velocity on the explosive rounds. I don't think it needs it. I think this is solid. It's going to be frustrating to start, but as you learn it, I think it's going to be great. With that being said, there is a change now to our builds, as I do believe there's going to be a lot to be gained from having faster sniper rifles. If there is going to be something that's going to be busted in this game, it's going to be players who are good and aggressive with the one-shot sniper rifles. So, me being the sweetheart that I am, I'm going to actually show you two builds that are going to have atrocious bullet velocities, but are going to be probably single-handedly the most frustrating thing to get tapped by really fast, because I'm a rebel, Dottie, a loner. We're gonna go ahead and start grabbing it here because I think that we just gotta get into it. So up first is the MCPR 300, and this is going to be an iron sight sniper build. This is going to be a build specifically for those of you who want to run around like a madman, reliving all of the ideas of what we used to do before the snipers were nerfed. With that being said, an ammunition is going to have to go over to explosive, which we do not have access to yet, but that is what we're going to be looking at. So you're going to be looking at a fast movement sniper rifle. We don't care about a suppressor because it's going to slow us down, and we're really not concerned with bullet velocity because it's already atrocious. You'll be able to go in here. You will be tuning everything for aim down sight speed and pretty much anything that'll get you to be able to deploy this weapon faster. We even have irons on it to make it faster, 5-round mag to make it faster, and we don't need damage range nearly as much, and we will run additional bullet velocity on this just for its, its namesake. So, a really quick ADS sniper rifle with irons. So this will be for any of you who are looking to, soar in style. The second one on here is going to be going out as the Victus. The Victus is actually a pretty fast sniper rifle if you build it in the right way. So we're going to grab the Mac 21 short. We're going to grab the VLK laser. We're going to go ahead and put on the explosive rounds because that's what you will be needing. I like to run usually small optics. I'm going to put the Forge Tech Delta on there. It's just a reliable sight for me. I like it a lot, and it doesn't feel too intrusive. And then we will have ourselves the XRK Rise. Again, this is going to be a super fast build in the premise and idea of just trying to ADS and run around and cause as much havoc as possible. And that is one of my favorite things to do, especially with sniping, is to be the super crazy loco out of inside everybody's face sniper rifle user, because it's just fun. It's just fun. And again, this one is going to be for those of you who want to run around and shoot people in the face. Now, with that being said, the Victus is probably going to do this better, or the MCPR is going to do this better most likely because the rechamber time on the Victus is insane. But the Victus's overall stability default and default bullet velocity, I think, is a bit higher. So this is going to be for those who can take the chance to miss a shot and still be able to fight. You're going to need some good movement. But the MCPR is going to be a great one for that. And obviously, we have the intervention coming out tomorrow. And the intervention, you know, for all intents and purposes, could be even better at this. So with that being said, if you are looking for a chance at running the Victus tomorrow, I'm going to have it unlocked and then maxed tomorrow. And I will have a new video out for you tomorrow evening with a similar premise. I will show you how to make a long-range Victus to do, or a long-range intervention to do this. And I will show you how to make a short-range intervention do this as well. So if you want to keep up with the top sniping ideas and understand how to get not only the best build for snipers, but you want to become the best sniper you can possibly be, don't forget to sub to the channel. We stream here daily, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, playing the games, doing the things, living the life, and I will go over builds live with you there as well. So thank you all so much for checking out the video. Don't forget to share this for any of your friends who are sniper aficionados, or if you just want to keep it to yourself, you know, keep it to yourself. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, peace.